Hello, this is Lucid Dreaming Blog 5 by Lucas. Uh, Lucid Dreaming Blog 4 didn't work out too well, so I'm just going to skip that one, as it were. So in this blog, I'm just going to talk about a few dreams that I've had. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This first dream was kind of a daydream, kind of a vision. I was simultaneously in this physical reality while this vision was going on in my head. Now, I was in a modern version of Purgatory. It was kind of in this barren wasteland. The lighting is kind of pink and green and very harsh, like some kind of like first-person shooter when you get hit. You know, there's like this high pitch, like bzzz, and the light goes all like in your face, and it's kind of like that 24/7 there. So there's this giant tower in the center of Purgatory. And then there's kind of this rampart around her. There's this wall that kids are hanging out at. And you're a kid when you're in Purgatory. So, you know, you're walking around. You're living on this rampart. There's some scratching on the walls. You know, something kind of vaguely looks like a heart. You know, this kind of this little tiny glimmers of hope. The kids aren't very talkative. You know, you try to talk to them. And they'll say stuff like ain't no mommies around here, only cigarettes. And everybody's smoking cigarettes. All the kids are smoking cigarettes. Every once in a while, some weed comes in, and you can buy your weed. Every once in a while, some acid comes in. And, like, that's real special. You know, there's, like, these guys in, like, suits and ties, and they're standing in front of this big case. And, you know, they've got some caution tape in front of it. And they're like, you know, don't get too close. No, you can't touch him. It's like, you want to see inside? Yeah, you better fork up your money. And then they let you look inside. And then there's one hit of acid, you know, in this big ass case. And they're like, you know, don't get too close. Don't touch it. You know, getting all finicky and just playing with you, really. During night, like, you try to walk up to the other kids and you try to bother them, and then these like demons come out of them, and like, you know, you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? So then, you know, wherever kind of like hell you end up in, like, the point is just to meditate out of it, you know, to like learn the lesson that it's trying to teach you, and then you can get out, you know. So in this specific Purgatory, you know, the point was to meditate. You can meditate on your cigarettes, and you can meditate with a little bit of weed, and you can meditate when you're tripping on acid or whatever. So like, eventually I started meditating, and then I realized that this dimension was being created by a demon on my left shoulder who was making eye contact with me, and he was just laughing at all my thoughts and all my anxieties and stuff. And if I could clear my mind to the point where I don't feel anything when he's laughing at me, I don't feel embarrassed or ashamed, or I don't start laughing, he'll make a cheesy face, and if I don't laugh at the cheesy face, then I get out and I'm in reality again. And I did. I meditated to the point, you know, where I could just stare him down without him laughing, and then I got out, and that was it. So one of the lessons that I'm trying to learn in all my dreams is to practice my flying, because I do believe that I will be able to fly one day, and if I can get down my practice in my dreams, that's a lot quicker than the average person, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you a bit about some lucid dreams and my flying experience, and, you know, what I think about that. So first time I ever flew in a dream, I was like walking down a road, realize it's a dream, and then I just like push off the ground like I'm Superman, and I start flying really fast, and it was kind of out of my control, and I'm kind of spinning, and I'm a bit disoriented, you know, and I eventually land. Another lucid dream that I had, I was walking down a trail, and then, you know, I noticed that things are a bit off, so I realized it's a dream, and then I start bouncing up and down. And, you know, gravity, I noticed gravity is a little less than it usually is. And then I decided to, you know, take flight, you know. And then I'm just kind of taking a leisurely pace, you know. I'm just getting kind of like caught in the air currents, you know. I'm just kind of gliding my way. And then I'm approaching this kind of art, you know, and I kind of intuitively land. And then there's some people there, and we get caught up in whatever. But this art piece, you know, kind of brought me back to a sense of familiarity, like this isn't really some place that I should be flying at. Maybe this is something where I should be a little more careful, you know, I can't be recklessly flying around. So that's another experience. This is a lucid dream that I had last night, actually. I was with my friends at my house, and then this candle vigil stops over, and I see my friend Andres Aguia, who lives in Costa Rica. I've never met him in person. He's there, and he's wearing a white robe, and I come up to him, and I start talking to him, and then I make like a little inside joke about how this is a dream, and then we just start giggling a little bit. I'm like, all right, not yet, not yet. And I go over and I'm talking to a psychic named Ellie Crystal, and I'm like, oh, I love your work with Crystal Links and your work with Thoth, and she's like, oh, me too, and she gets on her computer, and then she, like, gets into her world or whatever. And then, I realized this is a dream, back when I was talking to my friend, and then this is the point where I decide to, start taking control. So I kind of wanted to, test my power a bit, so I, put my hands out, and then I make my house start levitating a little bit, but it's kind of like lopsided. But I get it pretty far in the air, and then it kind of settles back down. And then I decide to fly again, and I really want to levitate, without having to jump, and, just to be kind of like standing, and then just kind of flying where you need to be. Not really like Superman, just kind of like more graceful and not as like muscular. But that wasn't really working for me. I couldn't really get a thrust off the ground like I wanted. I kind of had a feeling that the ground was something that was very like familiar to me, and was therefore some, a space where the feelings associated with it were, just to stand there and not to fly. So I jump off the ground at that point, and then I start flying through some trees. I'm not flying that high. I'm just kind of like testing. Like, these are kind of like a testing grounds that I made, to just get a little bit of practice up. And then I land on the ground for a little bit. I kind of like step down, and then I see this like flaming knight approaching me, and I have a feeling that this is my friend Chili. And I'm like, Chili, no, like, I lose my concentration. Like, this is kind of like a holy place. Like, I need to be able to concentrate on my flight. And then the night just falls apart, and that's the end of the dream. So that was me just kind of capturing some things on film, some things I wanted to raise up to a more audible level for you all. That was Lucid Dreaming Blog 5. Thank you very much. Hey, check out my links in the drop bar. Listen to my music if you haven't. I've got a radio show that I do at Tuesdays on 3:30, so I got a link to that. I've also got a link to my Facebook. Add me on Facebook. So, peace out. Catch you when I catch you next.